Hey guys, it's Arena. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna sit down here with my tea, my hibiscus tea, and answer some of the questions that you guys have asked on my Instagram. I got a lot of fun questions, so I'm really excited to answer them. Let's get started. So let's start with the first question. Yanita asks, is a wedding as important as getting married? What are your thoughts on weddings since they tend to cost a lot, especially for Asian people, since parents also invite a bunch of people we don't even know? And where was your honeymoon? Okay, good questions. Okay, being married for 7 years now, I look back on my wedding day, and at the time when you do get married and you plan for your wedding, it seems like such a big deal. But the actual wedding compared to just the life that you live with your partner, it's just not comparable. So a wedding day is nice because it's something that you look back on, and it's also a great day for you to, think about the life ahead with the person that you chose. So I think just make it the way you want to. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. My cousin actually got married in Bali with her husband and her best friend and her best friend's husband. So just the four of them did a destination wedding, and it was very intimate, and she made it her own way, and I thought that was really nice. If I was to be bored again and get married again, I would probably have a destination wedding as well. You just do you, and don't let other people sort of influence you on how a wedding should be, because really a wedding should be something really special between you and the other person. And where was my honeymoon? Actually, my honeymoon was in Bali, so the same place that my cousin got married in. So the next question is from Sivlong Ang, and she asks, can you do a hair tutorial? Aw, thank you so much for loving my hair, but I have to say that I'm not the best at doing my hair. I've definitely learned sort of tricks of the trade from working in TV. So I think eventually I will do a video on sort of my favorite products and my favorite styling devices that I use for my hair. So yeah, stay tuned for that. The next question is from Always Exploring. I love your skincare videos. Thank you. Any new products that you're using, and what does your skincare regimen look like these days? Okay, in terms of my skincare regimen, I'm happy to say that there will be a morning skincare routine and eventually a nighttime skincare routine coming up very soon. And then any new products that you're using, this is a new hand cream that I'm using, and it's from Aesop, and it's their Resurrection Aromatique Hand Balm. It's really nice because it's not too greasy. It smells amazing, but I think for smell or scents, they're just so personal. So if you like sort of herbally scents, then this hand cream is definitely for you. It's more on the expensive side, but it's such a wonderful experience to use it because it's like aromatherapy, plus it's very moisturizing, all in one. Okay, the next question is from Junior Terrence. Hi, Terrence. Okay, he asks, when did you guys decide that you wanted to build your own house, and what was the hardest step for it to happen? So for those of you who don't know, we recently built a house outside of Seoul, so it's out in the country. We decided to build the house we sort of played with the idea of possibly building a house maybe 3-4 years ago. And then my husband has this tendency where once he gets like fixated on an idea, he gets a little bit obsessed on it. So he went out and bought like the architect version for Lego, where you can like build houses and stuff. So he started building our future house using Lego. And that's how we just sort of decided on it. We kind of like looked for different land that we could possibly build our house on, and then we ended up finding a piece of land that was just perfect. And yeah, what was the hardest step for that to happen? I think it was definitely just finding the right land. You have to do a lot of sort of window shopping, and it's not just you who gets to decide on it. When you have a family, everyone's opinion is sort of involved. So I think initially that was probably the most difficult, was just finding the right land. And of course, building a house is not easy. There are so many things involved in building a house. You have to make a decision for everything, where the outlet is going to go, where the light switch is going to go, what color light switch you want. Like, there's just so much involved, and I really have to thank my husband for that, because he just poured his sweat, put his heart into this whole house. He was basically responsible for so much of the decisions in building this house, and also just like the initial blueprint of the house. So he was the one who sort of made the first layout of the house from Lego. All right, the next question comes from K Beauty by Jinhee. Hi, Jinhee. So she asks, I really like your skincare videos too. Oh, thank you so much. Where in Seoul can I find the products from Sandahwa? So Sandahwa is a sort of like natural line of skincare products based in Korea. I have not seen a physical store. I purchase all Sandahwa products online. So a common place that I purchase it is ssg.com or Coupang. So you really have to be in Korea to order it. Yeah, I'm sorry. If I find anything out about sort of online shops globally, I will let you know. Next, Brenda Pham asks, hi Brenda, you have a beautiful family, Serena. Oh my gosh, Brenda, you have a beautiful family too. She asks, as a working mom with 2 kids, how do you find time for yourself? Do you plan to move back to Canada in the future? This is a question I get quite often, and with just finding time for myself, so I have a calendar and I make sure that I allot a block of time for myself, and that involves some sort of self-care, whether it's going out to exercise, going for a walk, meditating, or hanging out with a friend, grabbing brunch, reading, or getting a massage. Anything that has to do with recharging my soul, recharging my body. I make sure that I allot a time for that every week, and I make sure that I stick with it. So I try not to compromise that time, and I do that at least once a week at the very least. Do I plan to move back to Canada in the future? Hard to say, but within the next 10 years, no. My place is probably in Seoul, Korea. The next question is from Ames_9. Hi, Amy. So what do you think about the most these days? Love that you're so active on YouTube these days. Fighting. Thank you, Amy. Okay, what do I think about the most these days? This is a really interesting question. Something that's sort of been on my mind these days is just how fragile our life is. So just our physical body. And really, we could die at any time. And we can't really say for sure how long we're going to live. But the one thing that I've been really thinking about is, when I leave the earth, what do I want to be remembered for? And what do I want to leave behind? So basically, I just want to live a much more meaningful life. It's great to live a very comfortable life and just enjoy the beauties of the world. But at the same time, I do want to leave some sort of positive impact in the world. So I've sort of been thinking about how I am going to do that. So yeah, when I kind of figure that out, I will let you know. The next question is from the Glow Gazette. What are your favorite products for skin exfoliation? Do you use acids for exfoliation? If yes, what are your favorites? I currently don't use any acids for exfoliation because I find that when I use them, I don't really, sometimes I overuse it and it sort of irritates my skin. And with physical exfoliation, I feel like I can sort of control the way it exfoliates my skin, if that makes any sense. And I also get a lot of satisfaction from just physical exfoliation, but I do make sure that I am very gentle with it. I currently use Clarisonic, and I use it about once a week. Oh, another thing that I use is a brand called Primera, and they have an, I think it's called a broccoli sprout peeling exfoliator. It's a really good product. I'll leave a link below if you guys are interested. But I will be talking about that. I'll be mentioning it in my nighttime routine, which is going to come very soon. Time to get a sip of tea. Okay, the next question is from RR98 Nureka. Hello, I'm Nureka. Hi, Nureka. You can call me Rika if Nureka is really hard for you to pronounce. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I come from Indonesia. I've used your videos for my tasks, listening and speaking, so I'm assuming that you are learning English. From your Instagram feeds, I know that you're a wife and a mom of 2 children. So can you tell me, how did you convince your parents that your boyfriend is the right one for you? My boyfriend and I are very nervous for family meetings. Okay. I think for my husband, when I introduced my husband to my family, it wasn't so much about convincing, because I was already convinced that he was the one for me. So it was just a matter of my parents, or my mom and my brother, just accepting my future husband. And I think just changing that perspective might make you feel a little bit more comfortable, because ultimately it's your life and you should make the choice of who you want to be with for the rest of your life. Also, it's great to be respectful to your parents and try to be a little bit more sensitive in terms of the first meeting. But instead of being nervous about it, I think you should be excited, because your families are coming together and you guys are meeting for the first time. And I think if you genuinely express to them that you really love this person, they are going to be open arms and love that person because you love them and they want you to be happy. So the next question comes from Pine Tree Song. Hi, I'm a big fan of you. Oh, thank you. I have 2 children like you. Raising children is a blessing, and my children are lovely and sweet, but they sometimes drive me crazy, like they don't listen to me at all, even though I tell them the same thing over 10 times, and it's really frustrating. You seem to have a very calm personality. So I wanted to ask, when you're very angry because of your children, how do you handle that situation? A very good question. And I just want to say, for my YouTube videos, when I'm normally shooting them, my kids are not here. So hence the calm personality. But yeah, kids drive me crazy as well. But I think first and foremost, it's really important that you are physically okay to handle sort of these tough situations. So make sure you take time out of your day to take good care of yourself. Feed yourself some good food, get lots of sleep, get some good exercise, take some time away from the kids to be with yourself and just meditate or reflect on your life. Just so that, it goes the same with kids. When kids are really tired or really hungry, they're going to act out. That same thing goes for adults as well. When you're hungry and tired or just not feeling well, you're more likely to spaz out on your kids. So it's really important that you're good and sort of you are fueled and you're charged so that you can handle these difficult situations. You talked about how you repeat the same thing 10 times to your kids. And I definitely have a habit of doing that as well, but I do try not to do it. I think it's so much better that you say something once and you make sure that they're paying attention to you when you're saying it. So whether it is to sort of sit them down right in front of you and you really lock eyes with them, or you hold their hands or hold their arms. I don't know how old your kids are, but my kids are fairly young. So I make sure that they're in front of me and I make sure they're listening. They're not distracted, and I tell them whatever it is that I want to say to them. And I think it's good to not repeat yourself so many times, because that's very exhausting for you. And if you end up making that a habit, your children are going to eventually sort of mute you out or just be immune to whatever you're saying. Try to find a way that works for you, but try to be a little bit more effective on saying something once so that your kids will listen. And another thing that I sort of remind myself all the time is make sure you sort of filter the big things from the little things. So I think it's important to stand your ground and be firm with things that are big and things that are small, even though they don't really make you happy, but it's something that your kids want to do. For example, they want to wear some crazy outfit to school, but you know it's not such a big deal, sometimes it's just better to let it go. Okay, the next question is from Keen Homie. Hi, dear. Hi. I have 3 totally different questions. Awesome. Number 1, any nutrition tips for the cold weather, please? Nutrition tips for the cold weather. I love making myself some hearty soups and stews during the winter. And I guess because colds are a lot more common in the winter, I make sure that I eat enough fruits and vegetables because of the vitamin C. If not, I supplement with the vitamin C if I'm not really eating well. Besides that, I try to get in a lot of like turmeric and sort of curries. And another thing that I really love is wild oregano oil and propolis, which I sort of use when I kind of feel the onset of a cold. Okay, number 2, how did you become such a good speaker? Exercises, habits, and tips. So I worked in TV for almost 10 years, TV and radio. So I, practiced a lot. I practiced a lot in front of the mirror, and I wrote up things, and I just tried to memorize them, tried to say them in various ways. It's just really practicing. A lot of times people define themselves as bad speakers and leave it as is. But if you want to be a good speaker, instead of just telling yourself that it's never going to happen, it's better to try to be better and find out ways to do that. So I think with learning a language too, one of the biggest things that keep people from learning a language better is just being shy and not wanting to put yourself out there. But the same goes for speaking. If you want to be a good speaker, you just have to put yourself out there and not worry so much about what other people think. So I think that's sort of the first step. So the third question from Keen Homie is your opinion on how to deal with our inner demons for a healthy relationship. My question is mainly about relationships with others besides the one with ourselves, like depression, insecurity, codependency, anxiety, self-harming. Okay, this is quite a big question, and I don't think there's really a simple answer to this. But yes, I do believe that everybody has what you call a sort of demon inside of them that tells you you're not good enough, you can't do something, and sort of puts you down. For me, I'm quite a big deep thinker, so sometimes I end up getting really lost in my thoughts, and I think one thing that you can't deny is how big of an influence your environment is. So sometimes when you have these negative thoughts, the sort of quickest and easiest way to change that is to alter your environment, whether it is to surround yourself with positive and inspirational people, or watch videos or listen to podcasts that are positive and inspiring. And, perhaps it's as simple as something as just, organizing your house, or just, organizing your time and keeping yourself busy with things that will bring positive value to your life, like exercising or just, doing something nice for yourself. I think it's really difficult to maintain certain relationships, even relationships with yourself. Having healthy relationships means that you invest energy and time into that relationship every single day. So whether it's with your friend, your partner, or yourself, it requires you to work at it every single day. So make sure you do something that will positively affect that. And of course, don't ever downplay your environment. Sometimes our thoughts get the best of us. Sometimes you just kind of have to ignore those thoughts and just do something physical that will make you happier and think more positively. Okay, Keen Homie has a 4th question, but I really like your questions. How do you manage to be so calm, and how to deal with frustrating and angry moments, both in personal and professional settings? So I think I've sort of covered how to try to be calm with your kids. Whatever I preach to my kids, I make sure that I do myself, because it's sort of meaningless to tell my kids to do something and not do it for me. So the same thing goes for professional settings too. A lot of times when we sort of rush into things, especially when we're feeling really angry, we end up doing a lot of things that are very hurtful and not very professional. So make sure you know what your trigger is, and when you know that you're getting really angry or upset about something, that you do take the time to calm yourself down so that you can come back to the situation and figure it out. And sometimes just calming your emotions down, all it really takes is just taking some time away, whether it's just a few minutes to go to the bathroom, wash your face, drink a cold glass of water, or, just breathe a few times, or talk to a close friend about it. And, once you kind of come back to your senses, go back and try to solve the conflict. Okay, the next question is from Mickey Pan. Hi, Serena. I was wondering what skincare face and body would you recommend for children during the autumn-winter months? We've been using the Bubble Botanicals bubble bath you recommended and love it. Oh, so glad you love that. With children skincare these days, our family have been sort of obsessed about the brand called Mistela. And the reason is it's just a very clean brand. And it's great for those of you who have eczema. I know adults use it too, actually. They have a line called, I think, Stellatopia. Stellatopia? Okay. I'll put a link below. I think it's called Stellatopia. But they basically tackle sort of eczema and dry skin issues. Honestly, everything that I bought from Mistela I've loved. I don't think there's a product that I don't like, and they sort of market themselves as like a cosmeceutical sort of children's baby brand, and they are from France, and just really good products, and the quality is really nice. It is a little bit on the more expensive side, but I think it's worth every penny. And Mickey Pan also asks another question: do you have any current favorites for natural makeup, especially lipstick, so it'll be more worry-free when I interact with the little ones? When I was breastfeeding, my go-to lipsticks were from Burt's Bees, and I think it was called Red Apple Lipstick. And those are really solid natural lipsticks with a good range of colors and are safe as well. So the last and final question is by K Beauty by Jinhee, and she's asking actually one other question. Can you give me some hair care tips or advice? So I will try to do a hair care video very soon, hopefully within the next month or two. But the one sort of big tip I can give you is to switch up your hairbrush. I didn't realize it before, but my hairbrush was really damaging my hair, and I brush my hair quite often. I would say maybe 2 to 3 times a day. But this one brush has saved my hair. It's called the wet brush. I use the paddle one because I have quite a bit of hair. So the bristles on the brush sort of bend back, and it's just really, really gentle on your hair. I think a lot of us don't realize how important our brushes are, because when you brush your hair, it can sometimes tear at it, and when you tear or break your hair, that ultimately damages your hair, and the only way to restore it, you can't really restore it actually. The only way to get rid of it is to just cut the ends off. So once I switched to this brush, it's made my hair so much healthier, and I feel that it's just damaging my hair a lot less. So those are all the questions. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed answering those questions. I will definitely do a Q&A hopefully regularly, but I don't know, I just find so much joy from doing these videos, because I think with YouTube, sometimes it's just so like one way, and sometimes you're just talking to the camera. But when you do these sort of Q&A things, I don't know, it really feels like I'm interacting with you guys, and it feels really nice. So yeah, keep on sending me those questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other questions for a future Q&A, put them down below. For any of the products that I've mentioned today, I will leave links in the description box. Have yourselves a wonderful week, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye for now. Annyeong!